Hello, Roka. Hello, Sam. How's everyone doing? Let's go. Having a good Saturday. How's the audio, by the way? Is it balanced? Did nothing, had an app at 4. Tight. I don't care about the VOD, but your voice and music is good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the VOD muted most likely and keep the music going. I'll turn the music down a little bit once we start talking. No one needs to hear my very off-topic commentary that happens at Brick City Biweeklies. Because boy, can I not stay on the game and have to start discussing my favorite fast food restaurants. But that's just the best commentary. I like it. It's fun. Yeah, this is a good set. I'm excited to go over it. Watch it over once or twice already. Notice a few things. No sub button yet. We're working on it. Hopefully this stream set will help, or the series. How you doing next? Having a good Saturday? I should be a commentator? You can commentate the weeklies. Yeah, just at me during the tournaments and I can pull you in. Hello, it is you, Never. We're reviewing you versus Failboat. I don't know if Sean mentioned that. You can swear, just like, don't go too far. Like, my streams are not PG, so... Yeah, I figured he might have mentioned that. He's the one that picked the set, after all. That's good. The sunset. Oh, yeah. I have not left my apartment because I work on Saturdays. Oh, nice. Are you still in downtown Burlington, or are you out in Winooski or North End or something? Alrighty. So, I'm going to pull Greatest in here and get the show on the road.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay.
You're live.
I can hear you now.
Perfect. Downtown? Yeah, nice. Alrighty. Here we go. Well, let me just share my screen for you.
Let me pop your chat out. Oh yeah, I'm a mod. I forgot. It looks different. Whenever I pop your chat out, or like go into your chat room, it looks different.
Oh really? Oh yeah, mod view and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Shall we begin? So this is a good set. A lot of close games.
Yes, I agree. I personally enjoyed it. This is my pick for the week because I enjoyed it a lot. So I figured might as well get an analysis on it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, great adaptation from Never. I think like overall we saw a lot of it seemed like a lack of familiarity within the matchup, which is understandable. He's only like a 3-month-old character or whatever, and worked out a lot in the end. So
yeah, I think he picked up on a lot of basic habits, which I think that's one of Never's strengths. Believe it or not, I know he doesn't usually believe in that, but I think he's able to adapt to a character more than he's able to adapt to a person.
mm-hmm.
And so I think he does pick up characters relatively quickly, at least knowing what his character wants to do versus their character. Even if it's not like universally what that character may do, but he's just like, this character feels like he wants to do this, so I'm going to do that, or I'm not going to give X to him.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the match, just want to say this is a learning experience for everyone. So if you notice anything, feel free to mention it. Try to keep things constructive. I'd be happy to talk about anything. So, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I wanted to ask your opinion on the stage picks. I don't know what they banned for the first match, but personally, since like we reviewed the VOD prior, like I like the stage picks overall. I think for the first stage they went to small battlefield, correct?
Yeah, I think small battlefield's a good neutral stage between them.
See, I agree, but I think it's very dependent on which Pokemon trainer, which Pokemon Never chooses to stay as. Because, which I do think he ends up staying as Ivy, which is the neutral version. I think Squirtle might actually win this, but you cannot force engages.
Yeah, that's a big thing about Steve in general.
Yeah, I think it's PT only like if you choose to play slow, which is not necessarily needed because I think PT has a very versatile playstyle that they're able to do. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, constructive feedback only. No shitting on players or anything like that. Here we go. So yeah, small battlefield first. So one thing I immediately noticed as we begin this is Failboat immediately gives up stage control. And I was curious what your thoughts on that are. Because, like, Steve in general is a character that has to, that doesn't really care about stage control, so...
So, I agree. I noticed that Fails chooses to give him stage control, and I think that's fine, because he manages to retain it or get it back, like, almost immediately. And, like, it's something that I noticed in his play in general. Steve doesn't need it. He wants to get his bricks, he wants to get his materials and let everyone else choose to fight. And like something I wanted to notice, if you pause it real fast, something I wanted to make note of is like that entire stock. I noticed that Fells decided to use the real estate that he gained from stage control as we were just talking, but he also used his ability to make stage really well. And so like Never also had to he didn't have to, but he was playing feeling out a very aggressive Steve, or aggressive Squirtle, and like Ivy, he kept putting himself into positions where if he would have just kind of played slower, I don't think this would have happened the same way. But I also think Fails is really good at challenging people's aggression while just moving backwards. It's just like, I'm going to use this stage to my advantage and hit where you think I'm going to be. And it shows really well in that first stock.
Oh my god, yeah. I think Failboat plays this first stock very well. One thing I will notice, I'll bring it up a few times, is he has a habit of mining unsafely on occasion. So we'll see, like, he gets this off, and then there's some point really early on where he's just kind of mining. But great job from this beginning, just kind of keeping Never in disadvantage into the up smash. That switch was really unfortunate. Hello was Nat. Failboat's here and Never's here, so we can get their insight as well.
Yep. Yeah, that switch was intense because, like, I think something that Never tends to do, and I want to blame this on the lack of knowledge, but one thing he tends to do is, like, when there's unfamiliar situation, but, like, you can sense there's danger coming, he likes to use that frame one switch for, to get out of those situations. But we all know up smash is
30 frame
meaty.
up smash or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's so meaty. And so it ended up working against him. I don't know if Charizard would have survived it. I want to believe
I think he would have. He lives that late.
Yeah,
this
he
is
lives
game
longer
4. Game 4 total, Failboat.
There's total 4 games, but this is the first game of the set.
Yeah, this is the game. This is game 1 still. And yeah, he just applies such good pressure from then on. Again, I think there is some lack of understanding of the matchup from Never at the beginning. And we see that a few times. But then one other thing we notice a few times, especially in this first game, is we see hard commitments from Never.
Yeah,
I think this is a fine example of this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to take note of too.
Yeah.
I also want to say it's a little brave from Fails too.
Oh my god.
Like calling it out and having the confidence to be like, you're gonna be right here.
Yeah, I mentioned his F smashes later on once they stop working as well, because they work well in the first game, but from then on they work not as greatly.
Okay, can we go back a little and talk about that little sequence right there? So like, after the Charizard got after the Charizard got
the minecart, just
not fun. Fails does a really good job right here. It's just like confirm into
that was so clean, yeah.
Keep his spacing just right, especially switching out of once Never switch. Squirtle's range is abysmal. Like Squirtle has the buttons but no range, and he did it. If Fails just moved a little bit closer, he would have been punished for it, and I think that was great.
Yeah, his spacing, he's matching Never very well for a little while there at the beginning of Never's final stock in this game.
Yeah. Also, can we go back to the kill?
It was very well done, yeah.
Yes, I think this is something we should take note of because he exhausted Fails' resources by Fails had no more metal, so he could not minecart. Fails had to make a choice, an immediate choice, and he could. It was unreactable. It's Never put out the Razor Leaf, which would have covered like fast fall, air dodge. He also covered just like regular like do anvil because he's not putting himself directly under it, but he doesn't also have the resources like we said. And so all Fails could do was commit to an early up B when the Razor Leaf was coming out, but he had to guess. And so that was really good on Never to be like, well, I'm going to put this here, and I'm also going off stage and pressure you. You have no more resources.
Great example of how PT or Ivysaur in general is trying to keep their opponent at the 45, at that 45 degree angle there, in order to get those uppies and fairs and stuff like that. But yeah, great job, makes it back. But the thing is, Failboat, of course, strong lead, which really just means you have a diamond.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
he does it.
And this almost kills. That happens several times. That's just rough. That just comes with knowing the matchup more.
Yeah.
Lives though somehow.
So unfortunate. It just extends it, and when he has diamond, that hurts a lot.
Yeah. And then pick up.
Anvil ended up like pushing Never backwards, so that didn't help either.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but it happens. It had been so long since I fought good Pokemon again. I distinctly remember feeling nostalgic when you hit me with Aviabe. Yeah. Very good showing from Failboat this first game. Moving on to game number 2, though. I'll just skip ahead. Game number 2. One thing right off the bat is I want to talk about Never's use of Squirtle. You mentioned this a little bit beforehand. But that saying Squirtle could win this matchup, but you have to just be very patient.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I feel like Ivy's just in general a better option.
I think, I think when I say patience, I just mean specifically like you need to not be always holding forward, like Gotcha would love to say. You need to just be like make him whip punish, and not be afraid of the burst ranges. I do think Ivy can out neutral better. So like if we're talking about strictly neutral, but I think Squirtle has the bait and punish necessary to punish the hardcore because he also has the damage and the ability to keep him at disadvantage. Now I'm a big fan of Ivy, and I do not think you should stay Squirtle once you get him to the necessary.
What I'm thinking about. I'm wondering if there is even I feel like why not just start Ivy in this matchup? And we see throughout the games, Never goes from using Squirtle for the first 30 seconds to 15, and kind of the amount of time
and then just switch to Ivy.
I think that's just the best play, honestly. But
I mean, ultimately, I think it also complements Never's play, but I do think, like, in general, Squirtle can handle Steve. I think the range is important. I agree, Red Panda. Yeah, the range is important. The problem with Charizard, and I think I go over it in the commentary, is that Charizard's buttons don't work versus Steve because Steve has stupid stuff. Steve's crate stops Flare Blitz. It also
His crafting table blocks all
yeah.
physical attacks, including side Bs.
Yeah, and it messes with flamethrower a bit. It makes it super janky. And then there's also Anvil. Like if Anvil's on the stage, messing with things, it loses to minecart in a lot of situations. And flamethrower doesn't even stop, knock him out of the minecart. It's really really dumb. And like so the matchup can feel janky. And so if you're willing to go with the like if you can outspace him and force him to come to you, which I think is a little bit hard to begin with, I don't think the risk reward is always worth it. I do think Ivy is a solid pick, especially the way Never likes to play. But I think with Squirtle, if you want to do high pressure with your positioning, Squirtle's the way to go. If you want to do high pressure with spacing, Ivy's definitely the way to go. I think though Squirtle has to play a bait and punish, but I don't think Fails would fall for the bait. So I do think ultimately Never's decision to switch to Ivy is the right way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Charizard is annoying too. Like I said, he breaks everything he does. Like Ivy could break a block with fair and back air. The dirt blocks at least. I don't know about all the other levels. Just with a single fair and back air. Charizard's fair can break it, but Charizard's fair is quite laggy on landing. And then you have like F tilt, which feels bad to use just to break like 1 or 2 blocks, and then he builds like 3.
Yeah.
It's just
Zard's a bigger commitment than what Ivy has to do. I think Zard has his uses, but I think Ivy is the Pokemon. Yeah, like F tilt and down tilt will break. And Failboat does bring up a good point. And people in chat, if you don't know, if you break the bottom block out of a wall, you can just run through the wall. So you don't have to break the entire thing. You can just walk through. It'll get rid of the block. It won't. Really?
No, you can't. I tried. I literally tried on stream.
That's hilarious. Is that? I can't. That's amazing.
His initial dash can go through.
Most characters can go through blocks if you break the bottom one.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I found that out, that was so helpful in the matchup. But yeah, let's move on. Game number 2. Play a better character, Sean. I've told him that he doesn't listen.
That is something I can do.
But yeah, so similarly, we see Squirtle kind of being outboxed towards the beginning, and then we see the switch to Ivy, and we're seeing a little bit more damage. But here, now we have down tilts though.
Yep, and that's just right there is another example of what if you go back a little with the corner pressure. That's another example of Phil doing or not doing, but like using his real estate. A lot of people, I've discussed this with you before, but a lot of people don't like to use their stage control. They hoard it. They act like, hey, it's stage control, I need to keep it forever. When it's like, no, you use stage control to get more things.
Yeah.
Get more pressure, get more damage, get the opponent into worse position because they're lacking in options.
Yeah. And then one other thing I like here is if we watch this, we see Failboat, of course, going back to mine, and then he does this. He builds the 3 up, and then he puts down the crafting table as if he's going to build something, and then he just up smashes, just as a bait.
Yeah.
Great attempt. Great awareness by Never to recognize that Failboat and Steve just have the ability to cover the upper side of him so well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then we have almost the cleanest kill ever.
The pressure there was insane. And Phil's getting up smash so frequently.
It's so consistent. It's so good. Makes me sad that I hit minecart. Yeah, it's rough. If you ran a little bit forward, I think it would have connected with both. So yeah, but now we see Never kind of turn this around really quickly.
I think this is a good example. This is when I took a note of like he's not pressing forward. I think some of the razor leafs are quite sus, but like overall, he's slowing down and acknowledging that hey, I can't react to certain ranges, and I'm going to like just use my range against him.
Yeah. And one thing I want to point out, I know you and I have talked about this in general with Steve's, is F smashes. Mm-hmm. So F smash, of course, great move, great damage, great kill power. The thing is, we see in this stock specifically, we see Failboat whiff it 3 times, and I actually counted. He took 53% and lost the stock because he whiffed F smash.
Yep, it's something that a lot of people don't realize. It's
like right here,
pretty
that did 25%, and he died because he just threw out F smash.
Noted.
And we see that a few times throughout the rest of the set. We see whiff F smashes costing him a lot. Great kill though from Never. Great read on the roll.
Yeah, if you space it properly, Ivy can actually just cover the whole thing. Unfortunate SD.
Very, yeah. Oh yeah, Ivy can just cover the entire platform.
Yeah, it's only about timing at that point, which good timing on his point.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I like is that a common mistake that people fall into with Steve is just a down air off of everything, and it's good that Fails is not doing that because it shows, in my opinion, a proper Steve.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you gotta understand it's not worth it all the time. God damn, that killed.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Unpowered minecart. It still kills very early. Pac-Man Hydrant Syndrome. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. All right, and here we see, I think Failboat might have died there just because he only had 1 iron left, but we do see a bit of a panic up B there. Situations like that, you gotta stay composed as much as possible. Because, there's another one later on, spoiler alert. But, that he could have made it back from. But,
most definitely.
Because, just in general, Minecraft Steve has some amazing recovery in general. In his stalling with TNT and minecart and getting the jump out of minecart helps out a lot. Now looking, I could have recovered if I minecarted. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you could have there because you were really low, but the second time I know you could have recovered. But yeah, definitely a little bit of a panic up B. It happens, but definitely something to think.
I can go back a little bit. Yeah. I do want to talk about something. So right here, that switch, you have to give credit to Never also, because the switch definitely covers the fact that any pressure or almost any pressure that Fails did.
That was a great switch.
Would just it goes back to that whole using, I don't know what you want to do, but I'm in danger and I'm going to get out of here, please. And it was also good timing on the down air to catch Steve uppy and just send him for the spike. And so I agree though, Fails could have probably recovered if he just used his resources to his advantage.
Yeah, this is very far though. This is outside the magnifying glass. Oh yeah, could have made that back with better planning. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. 1 iron though. That's 1. Yeah, I mean, if you get the super high up B with the jump afterwards. Yeah, unfortunate. All right, that makes it 1-1. We're going into game 3 now. I'm going to skip ahead. Alrighty, game number 3. Have all them been in small battlefield?
No.
The last one was regular battlefield.
Yes. I thought it was interesting because they both kind of really were vibing with this stage.
Yeah.
Sick combo. And now Never only stayed there for 15 seconds. It's all right, I'm done with this program. Yeah. As it should be.
Although Never, of course, fighting back. The Ivy just has his range really helps him out, and just his coverage in general. Yeah. Also, you see another panic SD here from Failboat. This time, I know he could have made it back.
Yep. Yeah, I also want to make note. The very first minute is literally Never doing what Fails was doing in the beginning, using the real estate. He's not pushing too hard, but he's also not giving Fails enough space to be I feel safe. Within the whole first minute, he's all right, I'm going to use my air and back air strictly, and only
gonna
nair
wall
when
you
I feel
out.
like I'm gonna. Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Ivy walls you out with his aerials and stuff. While Steve actually just walls you out for like the entirety.
Exactly. That's another F smash.
Yeah, I was about to
With
say.
yeah. It wasn't like it was an RPS because Ivysaur is facing, but like yeah, it
Mm.
still is something that you have to look out for
And we
if you're okay with it.
and along with that, we kind of do see like several like rushed options. I feel using a lot of resources as well. Like he gets this up smash.
Hmm.
Anvil cost him an iron. Immediate side B cost him another iron, and then he's still put in disadvantage because he tried to F smash. Steve's out of shield options make Never's aerials way less useful in terms of safety. Can't even Ivy Nair and drift away. Yeah, resources and body
Right.
much less set. I see what you're saying for the most part, but there are several situations I noticed in this set where you were strapped for resources. I felt. I think it might be this game actually. Small battlefield is a nice little resource gathering spot.
Yeah, but I think Never's also doing a really good job. Maybe it's just me and I value the metal too much, but he ends up like taking a lot of your or you end up using a lot of metal and instead a lot of situations it's just not there's the F smash
There's
again.
another F smash. Yeah.
It's just not there for you.
Did that grab him from the ledge? It did.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
re-grabbed.
we commented on it. Yeah. Nice confirm on the side B up B.
Definitely. And yep, stalled F smash. Thing is, it cost him at some point. I marked it down. I forget when it was. It cost him a kill actually because his move stalls on the crafting table.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice
All right.
spacing on the F tilt.
Now Phil was down entire stock. If I recall correctly, this is one that actually gets pretty close though.
Mm-hmm. And there, Squirtle did his job.
that was good Squirtle usage there. And
See, like just one fair breaking all three blocks.
yeah, so useful.
And like IMO, if you like fair like in place or a tipper or like even retreating, like in those situations, like it gives you enough space to avoid what
Steve's gonna try
wants
to punish you with.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now and like Fell's using the gold. Oh, I don't know. I like gold for damn nice. And he made it back with a little extended recovery.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out in this next, just watch how much damage Never takes in these next interactions.
Yeah.
So he gets hit 3 times. Anvil 22%.
Oh God, why is it so strong?
Anvil 24. He's now at 42. Minecart 63%. Yeah, that's what something I noted is I don't want to rewind because it was a little while ago, but like once Failboat's on his third stock, he becomes super aggro for like 30 seconds, and then he does a great job at recomposing himself and going back to his bait and punish style of mining and then reacting to what Never does.
Yeah.
It cost him a good amount of damage when he was being super aggro, but now he's doing a lot better and brought it back fairly close to from what was a very bad situation. Also, here is what I was talking about with the minecarts, the crafting table stalling. If we see the up tilt, it stalls the up tilt just long enough for him to get out of the way.
That's so funny. That's hilarious. Oh man, yeah, I definitely think this is. I think you're right. Fails does a really good job at switching gears, especially towards the end of the stock. And like, it's up to Never to slow it down again. I think Red Panda is also correct. Like, Fails is baiting or mining is definitely baiting Never to take unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
Because like if he just lets it go and accept that he doesn't have enough to like he doesn't have diamond, right? Or stored at least. Does he have diamond right now? I don't remember.
I don't think so. Oh, he does.
Yes, he does. Yeah, but he doesn't have diamond stored. He used up his last gold. Like, just slow down and take the game back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do see him a little strapped for resources right now. Actually, he's got 2 iron. How do I play Little Mac? Tiger Shay. I don't play Little Mac.
That's the best way to play Little Mac.
The best way is to move your cursor over a little bit and pick a different character. Or if you want to play him, I just space F tilt and down tilt and F smash probably. That'd be my guess. And then react to. And you're trying to bait out a jump, I'm assuming, with side B, or punish with side B. I don't play Little Mac though.
Razor Leaf, also Red Panda. Razor Leaf, the first 2 or 3 unstaled will beat Minecart. If I'm not mistaken. You've seen it. Yeah, you've seen it in the set. Like it clanks a couple times. I'm sure it'll probably happen again.
Yeah.
This could have been a big punish.
This could have been death. This could have been any smash attack. That move. I want to say it's like 35.
If only the first hit hits your shield, it's ridiculously unsafe because I think it is 35.
Up smash is well, yeah. So if only the first hit hits, it's like 40 something. It's like 50 something actually.
Yeah, it's 58.
Yeah.
Yep. So he could charge up smash probably almost full.
Yeah.
And just kill C right there.
Which again is something that comes with playing the character and playing against the character more. Because it's a very scary move.
Yep. So after that, I think this is kind of where like it gets kind of scrambly.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them are a little scared because anything good could kill either one of them.
Yeah.
Ever's like barely missing the spikes. Fails is barely missing like bears.
Guess that.
And it's getting scary.
Yeah. That was a great call out from Never though.
Yeah, recomposed himself in those like last moments.
I do like those blocks. The way he like. Here, let me rewind. I think it's right here-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one block, just recollect yourself. The great thing about Steve is you can build a platform for yourself to think about things.
I'm not against the blocks. I think they both recomposed themselves really well after like it got so crazy. So many near misses, so many like one tip hit would just kill, and they were just whiffing it like barely, but like not waiting. That was true like boxing, guessing at the same time. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it was intense. I know how those moments feel in tournament. Like your last stock. I do this.
It's a scary moment. And it turns the tide of the set really because it gives Never the lead in the potential Game 5 counter pick. But we do not make it there. We're going on to game number 4. We do see a bigger stage switch. I feel, or I guess a different stage switch with Yoshi's.
You explained this in the stream, so you should explain it again. Fails' mindset with going Yoshi's version of Battlefield.
Is this the Yoshi's version? Oh, it is.
Yes, the Yoshi's version of Battlefield.
Oh yeah. So Never and I talked, or Failboat and I talked about. I just read the word Never. Failboat and I talked about this. You're allowed to counterpick a Omega or Battlefield version. If it's your counter pick, you're allowed to pick whichever version you want. So in Failboat's situation here, he can pick one of these, where he's able to use different, because he gets different tools depending on what material he's mining. So if it's stone, he uses pickaxe. If it's wood, he uses his axe. But if it's a wool or dirt stage, he uses his shovel, which is not a weapon he uses to attack. So by doing that, he's able to preserve the integrity of his weapons longer by picking a stage that doesn't use any of his weapons to dig or anything. So yeah, we'll see. You see him immediately start using the shovel to get the materials, although the ground is still wood. So he does have to use it there. Phil, is there a stage that is entirely dirt based?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, right off the bat, we see some good damage here from Failboat. Although we kind of see his string from the beginning. Actually, Battlefield FD? Interesting. So you could have just picked the regular version. Yeah, so game 4 starts out really good. He very non-committal towards the beginning. We see it pay off super well. Gets like an entire stock, I think. Right off
Yeah,
the bat.
and the fact that like in my opinion, the weapons that Fails has right now, the what is he has the iron.
Iron, yeah.
Yeah, he benefits from preemptive trades like that he keeps getting on Never, like with beating his forward air.
Mm-hmm.
He wins those trades by far.
Oh,
So,
FD with platforms. Interesting. That's funny.
Okay, can we go back? Why did that miss? I don't get that one. The up B on anvil hitting the anvil.
Yeah,
like,
let's rewatch a little bit of this. I think it clanked.
Oh, yeah.
It was still falling, so it clanked.
That's insane. Crazy. Oh, it missed. Okay.
Did it miss?
Like, I think it just went barely behind him. Yeah. It went under almost there. See the TNT block.
Yeah,
that's true.
I agree. I think it could be used more. I think it definitely has its uses. Covering an extra option or whatever you want.
That's something I also made note of, but I wanted to bring it up later, but like I kind of brings it up. I think Fails can do a little bit better at ledge trapping. I think your ledge trapping Fails is really straightforward. It once you get people off, you just kind of like put yourself in essentially barely get up attack range, or you try and look for the down tilt where you can get up. But it's like you can use TNT to cover other options and use especially when you hit Never that far off. Set up, use everything at your resource.
It actually works kind of like a banana with Diddy in Smash 4.
Exactly.
You kind of place it to cover another option just to limit what your opponent can do. Also, we need to talk about this amazing recovery.
Yes.
He went so low.
What I wanted to talk about too is the other side of that. So like, you go back. The thing about that edge guard is amazing by Never because like covering like. Fails had nowhere to go. But I also think Never did a good job putting the first nair out. I think he rushed this down there though. Because I don't know if this is just matchup, but he put Fails in a check situation because once Fails didn't commit to up being earlier, he had well, can you go back? I don't remember if he had materials, but yeah, he didn't have materials, right?
No iron.
So he couldn't minecart. He had to either go straight to the ledge, which Never covered with the first nair, and he should have just waited or just did another nair because he would have been able to recover and just put him back in another negative situation. And there's definitely nothing wrong with putting him in a negative situation again because he's at 162. He would have died.
Yeah. I definitely see like what Never's saying. Like I did not expect him to recover that low. I think it's more of he would have placed it correctly if Fails had not taken such a low dip there. He would have made it back somewhat.
Yeah, I think most people on average don't realize that, and this is matchup knowledge, like Never just said. It is about he goes down fast but comes up really slowly, and so the timing kind of probably messed with his head.
Yeah.
Because most recovery upwards are really fast on average, and so he just probably wasn't sure. But definitely something to take note of, like for the future, and just always think about is like because the trapping was definitely good, and I think it was good on Fails too, to just like go to know his angles properly because earlier we saw him kind of kill himself because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Another nair might have sent him left, and forced a stage spike. I just definitely think he could have just waited a little tiny bit.
Here we see Fails put himself into 45 and
you never want to be there versus Ivy.
No.
It's so freaking annoying.
Oh, and then from here, just to start out, I feel like Failboats loses a bit of composure here, starting at this point, just at the beginning of this stock. I think it might just be the fact that he just takes 60, but we kind of see him rush a lot.
Yeah, he's trying to get center stage.
Yeah, which is something we don't see the entire set until now. We don't see him going for center stage at all, and then if we just start this over, he gets hit by this razor leaf, rushes across the stage, takes 20 for jab,
And like Never is not. If you notice, like if you look at like I was saying in my notes, I have it that blue flower in front of the green flower. Never doesn't go past that blue flower
Yeah.
unless Phil's already committed to an option.
I agree. He stays below the platform pretty much.
Yep. And there's just essentially, but I think if Phil's decided, hey, yeah, Ethan was punishing for this. Yeah, you just can't force your way in when Ivy isn't going to hard commit. If he's good, Ivy has good tools to space. After the first spare, that should have been an air dodge and detect. Yeah, air dodge check. Yeah. Yeah. I think just keeping your distance in that situation and just keeping your composure and be like, I'm gonna stop fighting for center stage real fast.
Yeah. But yeah, Steve just planks really well and can stay by the ledge, and he's comfortable there the entire set until this point. Good job not jumping there though. Almost dies for it. But yeah, so he takes a lot of damage that first stock. Now we see him kind of like, now that it's more neutral-ish between them, we see him rush it a lot more, especially now that he has diamond. Like he's being very aggressive, and he's trying to end the stock a lot, and which happens. You kind of like lose focus on it, and then if I recall correctly, Failboat talks about previously on commentary how you should never neutral get up against him.
Yep. Also, can we go back a little bit? Here. So there's this little neutral exchange, and they're going back and forth a bit, and then Fails is gonna put Never in disadvantage. He goes up for the up smash in a few seconds, and like I think it's very good on Never, like someone to take note of. He's in this disadvantage, and instead of like falling through, or he uses the second double jump to clearly go over the molten lava, and just punish it with the fair. I think that like that's so underrated because it's like reacting to what the opponent already put out instead of committing when you don't need to in disadvantage. Just having the confidence, because especially because Steve has small range. He may have great options, but he does have relatively small range above him. And so like even if Fails did double jump up air, Never didn't have to be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And it's great that he took note of that.
But yeah, Cam, I'm thinking about trying to start doing this weekly with different people, help going over VOD review. I can't help but feel after hitting him with minecart, he should have tried to corner pressure instead of retreating. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I was thinking the same thing. Whoops. Yeah, let's just turn out playoff. I think it's roughly around here. So yeah, there's a minecart, and then there's no real follow-up from it. We see, here's the minecart. We see Failboat just kind of stay back and not really approach the minecart at all, which is, I mean, it's a choice. I feel like I would have preferred to.
You wanted diamond.
Yeah, but I feel like since you just crafted gold, you had at least a few hits with it.
Yeah. Also, something to go back with that little he got diamond for it. The thing is, okay, I want to point something out. This is also something for Never.
Oh, he got
like this happens in the set where the minecart's still out, and you still just go for these razor leaves that gets you to hit the second time, and it's just like, I think. That's another moment you could have been a little bit more cognizant, because like if Fails chose to follow you in that instance, he definitely would have been able to get a follow up. Even if he goes for diamond, I agree with Rex. I think diamond's not worth it in that scenario, because if you get the kill, you get the time to get diamond either way. But if you get the diamond, now you have to work to get the kill again.
That said, I agree with Never. I could have gone more aggressive. If I got the kill, I would have gotten the stock. Yeah, getting the stock is... I mean, it's always a balance, and it's not something you can really... like. It's a judgment call at this moment in the middle of a game, so no one can really follow you for that. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyone who plays traditional fighters will know that like a character like Steve, where they're very heavy on the resource-based Oki or offensive pressure, like how you maintain your advantage. You understand there's a lot of micro decisions that you need to make every single like meaningful hit that isn't a true combo you get. Because the moment you get a combo that still puts you in advantage but doesn't put you in what's combo advantage, but it's like an oki pressure situation, you need to ask yourself, do I want my resource more, or do I want pressure more? What do I value in this instance? Will the resource that I get benefit me in the long run or in the short run? And is it worth it? And honestly, in my opinion, just when I used to play some resource driven characters, but it is, if you can get the kill, like you don't need the resource. Like any game you play, not even just fighting games, but like League of Legends, like you don't need Baron if you're gonna win the game already. You know, you don't need the extra resource. So like that's how I always think about it. But I know that a lot of other people think about it differently. But yeah, that's how when I see Steve in those moments.
Yeah, I agree. You can mine more on the you can always mine when they're on the Angel platform.
Yep. The best form of CC is death. You know, just kill them.
Yeah.
You can't. There's nothing they can do at that point.
But either way, great sight from both players.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how this goes going forward because I feel like there's a lot of potential, especially if Failboat plays like he did last week against Law.
Yeah, Fails and Never have always been like super close, super like back and forth.
Everything's been close.
Yeah.
Also, Never, I would not have expected that minecart to still be active. I can't blame you. I'm getting hit by that.
I don't know. I'm so used to it.
I'm never gonna get used to it. The thing rolls, and then it's like it's creaking to a halt, and bam, you die for it.
Yeah, I get it.
Dropping pressure to mine is a mental play. Yeah, again, it's a judgment call at that time. There are good times to do it, and there are bad times to do it, and you can only recognize them in hindsight.
Yeah.
But yeah, were there anything else? Any other points you had about this set?
The last thing, closing point is like, I enjoy just to summarize what I enjoy. I enjoyed the adaptation from both players, like just kind of like the tug of war. I enjoyed that both of them at different times decided and recognized that they needed to use the stage to their advantage, the real estate. I think that's always great. Notes or tips for what I would like to see improve from both players. I'd like to see Never clean up his timings, like on certain things, like ignoring the like, oh yeah, the up B, that it's best matchup knowledge. You'll get that later. But like, there's certain things that he knows. He knows like the timing for like the tech timings for up airs onto platforms, whatever. He forces those scenarios. You shouldn't be missing those. Those can cost you in the future, and you need to clean that up. Certain things like that. The other thing biggest that I would like to see him clean up, at least versus the Steve matchup, is recognizing when Steve is looking for the bait. Because understanding what the opponent wants at different moments can really definitely help. And like sometimes he's getting it, and I guess you could argue it's just a guess, but like I feel like it's pretty straightforward sometimes. Is improve approaching when Fails is mining. Yeah, I saw a lot of Razor Leaf trying to cover jump, but Fails wasn't jumping. Yeah.
Kind of what you were just talking about a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's like those unsafe Razor Leafs, or those Razor Leafs sometimes, which is super sus. Which is like, I think that's a little bit of a comfort thing, because Razor Leaf's a great tool, but like Steve in certain matchups, you just I don't know if it's the best tool in this matchup. I think, but everything else, those are my top three. For Fails, I'd like to see a lot less like just Randy forward smashes in certain scenarios. Like I agree with Rax. It hurts a lot. I think once you recognize that habit, go for it, because when the first set, Never was running in, and those F smashes made sense. But once he stopped, you need to stop. Not and unless you have just like an undying urge, which I still recommend not to go with. Like, you must have some hard read. Yeah, I was pressing kill buttons a lot. Didn't realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
It lost it. Yeah, it loses to it relatively quickly. It's just like Ganon down B. Like after like one or two, it just won't break it anymore. And the weird thing is you have to hit the minecart with it. You can't hit Steve all the time because then it gets really weird. And it depends on when it hits. It's really, really silly.
Yeah, it's like if you hit Steve out of the minecart, it's less armor. But if you hit both of them, it like you add the armor together or something like that.
Yeah, it's super fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry. The other thing I want Fails to at least take in consideration is figure out some set play with in the corner. Like, take your time. You have great boxing tools, and you're good at boxing. Like, you're good at feeling out your opponent and just reading what they want to do when they want to be aggressive. And so I think that's why you go for the feeler aspect of play when like reading things so heavily. But I think you also need to just take a second and use what Steve has, because when you're in neutral, you seem to do that fine. You seem to be like, hey, I'm going to mine here, build a wall, chill, relax, take the time to plan, like you said earlier. But like once you get them off stage, you don't have to always commit to like down smashes and stuff like that. Relax, set something up, and let them let the psychological fear of them like having to worry about things take advantage of that. Because like if you have a TNT block on the ledge, like people are going to think they're going to wait, and then you can do even more. You can react even better because you already know they can't cover that option.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the main things I'd like to see improved, and the things I really loved.
I like the comparison to Charge Shot, especially when we're talking about how Razor Leaf interacts with it.
Oh yeah.
Just because you can't use Razor Leaf in certain situations against Samus because it's too much of a commitment against Charge Shot. So it's kind of a mix there. I agree with what you're saying. I loved how they each use stage control differently. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had for it. Anyone in chat? If there's anyone in chat that wants us to go over another set, different various sets.